Preach quitting.
Yep.
Because I feel like we should probably talk a little bit about that.
Pretty big, all things considered.
Yeah. So he's not actually quitting, in the way that, Preach Gaming is never going to have a video again or a WoW video.
Yeah.
I mean, this sort of content shift he's doing actually is very similar to ours in a way, different in other ways. And then should we bring the video up? Actually, it's probably not. It's probably not feasible to do the whole reaction video thing, is it?
All right, I suppose just.
Is there any way I can hear it? Because there's just right. Do you know what it is? It's just that bit where he talks about the state of the modern game, and he talks about the domination sockets, and he basically says, "Congratulations, Blizzard, you won. I'm gone." Like
Actually,
I have listened to Mike's video, so while I can't react to the video, I can react to what he said, how he's doing, stuff like that.
Yep.
And it's pretty big. Mike has been deep into World of Warcraft for a long time. He's got many memories, many experiences there. And, we had a little bit of a chat in the DMs like a day or two before he made the announcement. And, it's that thing. There is absolutely zero universe where this is him like jumping ship to go and play FF for the money or something. This is entirely a situation of the way the game is now is making that man sad. And he, I think it's like he knows he could put on a brave face and try to do that content that, his audience knows him for, like a lot of the sort of day-to-day coverage stuff. But, he's made the hard call that, like, yeah, I could do that, but I'd be fucking miserable. It's really what he's going into at length in this video that he did. And, it's the sort of thing. So in terms of my own WoW experience, it reminded me that, my God, I'm glad that I am the only benchmark I have, the only big goal is I want to get Curve. That's it. I don't really care. I mean, it would be cool to get Curve a bit faster, get a realm ranking. But I don't really care. I don't really care about that. I just want to do 1 or 2 raid nights a week, chill with people. But if you're playing the game the way that he's kind of got to play the game as a Mythic Raider, where is his best gear coming from? Is it coming from the raid?
Absolutely not.
It's coming because he's done however many things in the thing, Mythic pluses.
Yeah, well, in order to be
IPs.
optimal, he would have to do 10 15s every week. Otherwise, you have, obviously you could do 1, you could do 4, but that's not optimal. That's putting a lot of risk if you're trying to Mythic raid, or at least try to stay optimal, because that's what we want to do.
My 2 best bits of gear are not from raiding, because it's easier for me to get near Mythic raid item level gear from dungeons. Even just doing a Mythic plus 12, which gets you a full 12 out of 12 upgrade in the weekly box. That's an easier way for me to get gear than doing the raid, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that. That's one example. And then, Corthia stuff. He's probably going to feel like he's got to do the Corthia stuff.
Of course.
Got to do all of the Torghast chores on all the characters. So it's like if you're playing this game from Mythic raiding perspective, Blizzard have severely degraded the quality of your experience since Warlords of Draenor.
Possibly of your life since Warlords of Draenor, because there's so much time thrown into it. Like,
yeah. They've basically designed so many elements of their game around, heroic raiders who want to do well and Mythic raiders just having a whole, and maybe other people too, having a whole bunch of stuff to do to get a bit more player power in between. And for a lot of people, that's just not, not really a satisfying experience. They feel like they're being, not hoodwinked, but like they're being kind of, it's like their love of the raid bit is being used to get them to play stuff they don't like. And that makes the game experience worse for them. So, and you're absolutely, if you're in Mike's position, how he plays the game, you're going to feel that a lot more. But there's even like more to that where, and it's what Mike gets into when he talks about the domination sockets. Basically, Blizzard said, I don't know if it was after Corruptions or something, wherever it was, but they just said like, look, this shit ain't going to happen again. We're not, and then they immediately made those mistakes. And, Mike talked about having, it's the sort of thing, Mike almost certainly hears way more in the grapevine than I do from the Mythic raiding community.
Yeah.
And, generally when that stuff happens, you'll have noticed I've been a lot more okay with just being wink, wink, nudge, nudge, I've heard this. And, he seemingly is feeling the same too. We've both, heard Blizzard's internal justification that shards are like tier sets. We've both heard of that, right? And it's just insane. It's just crazy. It's crazy, some of those justifications. And, for him, it's just this is just stuff that so many people have been pushing back on for so long. And, we then get these domination shards, and it's they're the worst version of this whole thing. Now, in a way, they're inoffensive, and, you can just ignore them in your head. But it's as a design, it's even if you can ignore it, this is the big thing I would say to a bunch of people who said, oh yeah, conduit energy sucks, but who cares? It doesn't affect me. Well, it's the fact that that is a system in the game lets us know that that's a system that they designed and put in the game. Therefore, that tells us something about them designing things. And for a lot of, Mike's point there, it was he basically just had to spend the duration of, of Battle for Azeroth going in one way. And I think for him, his point was, if I have to do that again for Shadowlands, I am going to be very sad. And, looking at his recent content over the last while, I think he really did make an effort to do that coverage and tone down that side of it. But, maybe in between the lines, he just realized no, it doesn't work. Not happy. Can't do.
Yeah, I mean, that's
scary time.
Yeah. I mean, it's maybe the way I'm thinking of it, this is just a weird thought that cropped into my head, visually. But it's you're going into somewhere that you go regularly, be it for food, be it for, leisure, whatever else. And there's just someone standing inside the door, just intently staring at you, giving you the finger. You're just this, just all day, just fuck you. And it doesn't affect you because, you're not walking around them or anything, not being audible. It's just, they're there, but they're there. And you're sitting there, maybe, maybe he used, in this analogy, Preach used to sit real close when he was Mythic raiding, but now he's he's the other side of the room. So he just knows Blizzard are sitting there giving him the finger. And that's not a pleasant experience to be. That's not a way you want to actually live, is knowing there's someone across the room staring daggers at you. Because it's just no, that's not comfortable. Can I go to somewhere where I'm actually, in some capacity safe and free to experience things properly? But no, it's just all that bullshit is there and will be there. And you do not trust that it will be removed because they said they would remove it and they then didn't.
Yeah. I legit can't say anything. All I say is I'm working on an angle as hard as I can to try to help things. Blizzard, you are actually burning through your most dedicated players when you keep on making just really bad designs. If this is what you think a good system is, all I can say is set your ambitions a lot lower and try to do that thing okay instead of something like this, Rewards design has been really a very damaging thing in World of Warcraft over the last while. And it's they're so focused on rewards and stuff, they're not thinking about content and gameplay.
Or player experience.
Yeah, and it's content, gameplay, player experience. Those are the most important things, and it's what they're forgetting. And whenever it's that little GIF John made, of oh, dodging that shit, Lamau.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever that stuff can be dodged, I can access the good player experience and the fun gameplay. But for the people for whom all of these systems and all of this sludge gates the type of gameplay they want to do, just burn through people, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's not even about dodging it and being able to dodge it. It's the fact that why bother going through the hoops of dodging it? Eventually, you'll get tired. That's what I think. It's a case of why are you jumping? Why would you jump through a load of hoops in order to get some morsel of experience at the end when, there are, alternatives?
Yeah.
There are alternatives to having a good experience without having, similar enough experience in a couple ways, without getting absolutely, without having to walk in and dodge traps on your way in. It's like, what are you? It's like, are you going to go work at a place that has Painsmith at the door, or are you going to go work in a place where you're at your desk when you open the door? That's the difference in like the experience of it all.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. So that's that. And as for everything else with Mike and leaving, I mean that's going to be hard. That's going to be scary. Like moving full variety onto a second channel, that's hard to do in YouTube. Now, certainly doing it on a second channel is absolutely the correct way to do it. If you do that on a channel where you have an established audience and that thing is not the thing that they want, then they will send signals to the YouTube algorithm based on their low and not good quality engagement with that video, that it's not a good video, and then it will never reach that bigger audience. It's way better to do it on a second channel where people can opt into that, and then that is what can get the snowball rolling of the algorithm being able to find viewers, who would enjoy that content.
Yep.
Now, as for Mike's content plan, it's actually rather similar to ours, where I think for him, it's Drama Time, it's the Legacy series. Basically, it is WoW content. As Mike puts it, itself is more celebrating the community, the things that sort of we all care about, rather than the day-to-day game. And we have made that shift as well. There's maybe a bit of a difference where, Mike's not super into the lore of World of Warcraft. So, it's all like the lore stuff. We have a lot of cool historical videos. Super Weapons is coming out Monday or Tuesday, isn't it? Tuesday, gotcha, yeah. We have a bunch of those kind of additional things that we are interested in about World of Warcraft that are not gameplay. So basically, I think what people will notice is just, and I think that's the type of videos that we do that people like the most anyway. So basically, it is just going to mean we're basically doubling down on the shit that you guys like. And I guess, from Mike's side of things, it's probably way more freeing that he can just be like, okay, cool, we're going to do the Legacy series. We're going to celebrate the community, celebrate all the cool time, that we had. And then I guess they're doing some sort of variety content on that second channel. In which case, if I was to give any tips, I would say the number one, while there is a risk of spamming the community share posts, that feature, while there is a risk of spamming that too much and pissing off people, do use that to get people from, Preach Warcraft to Preach Gaming if they end up doing a similar sort of channel rename to what we kind of are thinking of doing. I'd say that's one thing. The next thing is, marketing those videos, that content, thinking about that experience. And if you look at a Linus Tech Tips video, they are able to market news as evergreen. They're always able to find a really interesting and clickable and engaging and exciting angle. I'd also think about, say, Spiffing Brit.
Yeah.
No, is it Spiffing Brit? Yeah, he's the one, perfectly balanced.
The one who broke community posts?
He broke community posts, actually, yeah.
Yep.
But that channel is a really good one of having a neat narrative wrapping to actually just gameplay content, but it's framed and delivered. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff, when it comes to second channels, that's all interesting. Yeah. We've done 2 of them now.
Yeah. I think we basically have an expert on multiple channels in the chat here, Mardex. So
yeah,
a second channel is the way to go, but it takes a long time to restart from scratch. That's the thing where it is the case of you try your best to move people over without, actually damaging the people who just click notifications and watch the videos. Where a community posts have done a great job of that for us. So I imagine Hero would be the go-to for figuring out how to do that in very different things.
Yeah. From our experience with the Clips channel, we definitely we were like, okay, these clips, if we do a community post, they do 3 times as well.
Yep.
We also knew that it pissed people off, but we were okay. And this is just some of the stuff that ends up happening. We were okay to be mildly annoying for 2 or 3 weeks in order to get the new channel on its feet. Because once it was on its feet, then it could start to roll its own snowball down the hill and do well. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff there when you're kind of, you know, doing all the multiple channel stuff. But yeah, certainly something. It is sad to see Mike go in that way. Sure. Yeah, you know, just him in gameplay content was always something that I watched. You know, could give me a sort of an experience different to my own, right?